Meet Zoomlock, the 10-second flame-free refrigerant fitting from Parker. Reduce labor costs by 60% with no brazing, no flame, and no fire spotter. Discover how Zoomlock can help you be more efficient and productive. Visit Zoomlock.com for more information.
Those of us with dirty hands, blood stains intertwine, right away each morning to grind it out another time. The faces in the mirror, and not as young as they once were, but they're proud, they're proud.
Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. I should say ladies and gentlemen, because come to find out, we've got some wonderful women here in the heating and air industry. We are headed out today. We have, take a look here, 4 calls on the schedule for today, 2 no cools and 2 maintenances. So I figured I'd take you guys along for the ride today. I guess this will be like a 4 service call combo. Like I said, we got 2 maintenances and 2 no cools. So we'll take you guys along for the ride, and hope you guys enjoy the video. We're also going to test out the Testo meter that I got in the mail yesterday. I posted a picture on the Cowboys of HVAC page and the HVAC YouTube page, or groups, I should say groups. And so I still have the amp probe in the bag. Little disappointed that the Testo didn't come with a case. I figured, amp probe comes with one field piece. Really thought Testo would have put a case in there, but either that or I overlooked it. But I mean, it came in a nice big box. I don't think I overlooked the case, unless I did, but it is what it is. But so I would have liked to see it come with a case. But anyway, so we'll try out the Testo meter, and we'll see you guys when we get to the first service call. All right, guys, our first call is a maintenance on another York Stellar Plus that my father put in several years ago. This unit is in great condition. We maintenance it every year, and we can never find anything wrong with it. So I've got the Testo meter set up. We're going to open things up, and this is a straight cool because the customer has gas heat. We're going to open the panel up, check the capacitor, the contactor, all that good stuff, and then wash it. I mean, it doesn't even really look like it needs to be washed, but I'll probably hit it with the hose, check the charge, and all that good stuff. But this unit is in fantastic shape. We have a GE 60/5. I have the Testo set up on microfarads. It says NF instead of UF. I guess that's Testo's way of doing it. So let's see what we get. We go from common to hermetic, and we're looking for 60. And we get 58.14.21. Okay, so that should be in range. We go from common to fan. We get 4.865, 4.890. So that should be in range also. Okay, not bad. All right, guys, we're on ohms now, and we go, I got one lead wedged over there so I can use the camera. I like to see between 10 and 20, no less than 10, no more than 20 on a contactor coil. So if we hit there, we're not, let me see if I can. Okay, for some reason we're not getting a reading. Oh, I see why. One of my leads has pulled out the bottom here. Okay. Those leads fall out really easy. Let's try this again. There we go. 10.67. That's right on the border, but I'm going to open the contactor up and check the points on it. But that should be okay. Alright, I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but the points look pretty good. Not bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and leave that contactor alone, and we'll check it again the next summer. He'll call me if it gives me any trouble, but I think he's going to be okay. We're still at 10. We're not below 10, so I think we'll be just fine. Well, so far so good with the Testo meter. Just a couple small negatives right now is, like I said earlier, no case. And then you don't have much to work with right here. And it doesn't look like that these are removable, like the field piece. Yeah, so that's the only tip you have to work with, which I can just change the leads. I'll probably just get me some different leads, because I like a longer tip than that, because sometimes that can be a pain in the ass to work with. All right, well, I'm going to start it up, check the refrigerant pressure, and check amps. All right, guys, the York is up and running. This machine is super quiet. It's just as quiet as the ones that I put in today. We're taking an amp draw on the condenser fan motor here. We're at 1.1. We're calling for 1.5, so that looks good. I will tell you that Testo is right. It is much easier to hook your wires with their design. I really do like the amp clamp design, because it is a lot easier to hook your wire with that part folding down instead of it bending over. I mean, look at that. Poop, there it is. I like it. 13.3 on the compressor. RLA is 24.7, so that's definitely good. Our refrigerant pressures are looking good so far. We're at 65, and we're at 194 over 65, coming up on 66. Yeah, 194 over 66. I get knocked a little bit about not checking my superheat and subcooling on these maintenances, even though I do have the stuff right here. But the reason I don't do it is because it's a maintenance and there's no indication of a leak. The customer's not complaining that it's not cooling. I mean, why do I need to go through all that? The customer just wants a maintenance. If I don't like what I see on these manifolds or these gauges, then I will go that far. But if the charge is where I expect it to be, then I know I'm fine. I've been doing it like this for a while, and I got a new troll that follows me. I haven't had a troll in a while, but he's from Australia, and he tells me that I would never make it. I think Australia is what he said. And he tells me I would never make it as a technician in Australia. And I'm just fine with that, because I'm a technician in Louisiana. I have no desire to go to Australia. So the way I do my method is the way I do it. Whether you agree with it or not is up to you. But amp draw still looking good. We're way under the 24. And the pressures are looking good. We're coming up to 68. We're at 202, 203 over 68. That's gonna be just fine. We'll go back to our condenser fan motor right here. Let's just get it moved over like so. We're at 1.1. Again, FLA on the fan is 1.5, so nothing wrong with that at all. This is a good running machine right here. Absolutely nothing wrong with this machine. Now I'm gonna go inside and check the drain, but I'm not gonna be able to film in there, guys, because this is an elderly man. He's an old customer of my dad's, and he can't hear very well, and he keeps the TV very, very loud, and I have to talk very loud at him. So, and he's in a closet. I'm gonna change his filter and check his drain and all that good stuff. But as far as the condensing unit, we look good. This old York is in damn good shape and runs really, really quiet. All right, guys, this York condenser, nothing wrong with it. It still has the original fan motor and the original compressor. It still has the original capacitor. That capacitor is original. Now the contactor's not. The contactor's been replaced. Everything else is original. And this unit is probably a 2001, which would make it about 16. It's either a 2000 or a 2001, so somewhere around 16, 17 years old. And you can hear how quiet it is. It's just as quiet as a new one. This is when York was good stuff right here. If York was still making units like this, we'd still be selling them. But that'll do it for the first service call, guys. We're going to move on to the next one. All right, guys. Service call number 2 is a no cooling. It's got a newer Linux system. He said he had another company put it in before he started using us a couple years ago. Well, he's unhappy with him. So we'll put it on cool and drop it down. Okay. Cooling is on. I can hear the blower. Sounds like a variable speed blower. Blower's running. Let's go take a look outside. Okay, guys, as you can see, we got a Linux. The discharge air is ice cold. I hear the compressor running. Oh. 14 HPX 48 from 2013. It's a heat pump. My helper. I say it's a heat pump, but I don't see the heat charging port, but that HP usually means heat pump. Let me open it up and see what we got going on. Or actually, let me throw the gauges on there because, oh, it's in the heat mode. That's exactly what it is. He's got a regular thermostat on there, and this thing's in the heat mode. All right, guys, I got the Testo 770-3 set on voltage AC. That thermostat, it should do heat pumps, but this thing's definitely running in the heat mode. So let's see if we have 24 volts between common and O. And we do not. You see right there, I'm at common and O, and we do not have 24 volts, but we should have it here between common and Y, and we do. We have 28 volts. So that means that either that thermostat's not made for a heat pump or he just didn't program it right, because I saw an old thermostat laying on the counter. So I'm going to pull the disconnect and try this again. I'm still shocked though, because, oh, there it is. There's the heat charging port right there. Okay, it's up here on Linux. All right, I'm gonna pull the disconnect and go check the thermostat. All right, guys, here we are back at the thermostat, and as you can see, it was a heat pump outside, but if you do this, you got cool, heat, and off. So let's pop the stat off and see if this is even made to run a heat pump. All right, guys, we have the stat taken off, and it looks like he's got it wired right. He's got his white wire on auxiliary/E. He has his green wire on G. He has his O wire on O/B. His yellow wire is going to Y, and his R is going to RC with a jumper. So he just didn't program it right. So this will just be I can do this with one hand. Okay, so basically what we want to do is right here, we want to select number 5. And I'm trying to do that with one hand where y'all can see. Right there, number 5. And that will put us in a heat pump. Cool, heat, emergency heat. Okay, so now we're set up for a heat pump. Now when I put the system on cool, it should kick into the cooling mode, and then I have a PDF on these thermostats on my phone where I can make sure that it's set up for electric backup heat and all that. But for right now, I just want to see if the condenser will kick on and check the charge and stuff. So we're going to go to cool. Probably going to go into a time delay. Yeah, as you can see right there, cool on is blinking, which means that this thermostat is in time delay. I know he bought this thermostat at Lowe's because this is a Lowe's Honeywell. You can see it's a Honeywell, but when you buy them at the supply house, these are round. But you see how these are arrows actually pointing up and down, and these are square. These are also round when you buy them at the supply house. So that tells me that this Honeywell came from Lowe's, and he wired this up himself. All right, guys, as you can see now, I heard some stuff clicking. If I go from common to orange, we now have our 24 volts. So the defrost board is in time delay. When both lights blink like that on the Lennox defrost board, that means it's in delay. So we have our 27 volts between common and orange, and then we have it between common and yellow, which means that it's calling for compressor and it's calling for a reversing valve. So we will wait for the delay, and I've got the two Robinair gauges hooked up, and we'll see what the charge looks like. All right, guys, I apologize about that. Let me recorrect myself in case somebody is watching that's learning. When both lights flash together like that, that means normal operation on a Lennox. This thing was not in time delay. I just forgot to put the disconnect back in, so that was a mistake on my part. It's when they alternate, when it goes like red, green, when they alternate, one, you know, like this, you know, red, then the green, then the red, then the green, that's time delay. So it was not in time delay. When they blink together like that, that means normal operation. So the system is up and running. I'm gonna give it time to stabilize. We're not looking too good right now, but I'm gonna give it about 10 minutes before I add any kind of refrigerant or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and check my subcooling superheat since I don't like what I see. And see, that brings up the point from the maintenance earlier. If I don't like what I see, then, you know, of course I will check superheat and subcooling. But you know, but that York we looked at a minute ago was fine. You know, she was doing great. But if this one doesn't, if we don't get any better than that in the next 10 minutes, then we know we're gonna be possibly low on refrigerant or a TXV issue, because this being a Lennox, I know it does have a TXV. Or low on refrigerant, and it would be leaking in the coil, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, guys, after about 15 minutes, we've got about 62 degrees of superheat and absolutely no subcooling. 66 to 66, I'm sorry, 86 to 86 is no subcooling, and then 85 to 22, I'm not that good at math, but I know that's going to be in the 60s. That's like a 62, 63 degree superheat. So it looks like the charge is low. There's nobody living in the house right now. I think the guy had to move in with his mama, because that's how we ended up getting his business. I think he's living with his mom because his mom is sick, and I think he wants to rent this place out, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not going to add refrigerant today, since there's nobody living here. But what I am going to do is go see if I can find the air handler. If the air handler's in an attic, I ain't going in the attic today, because it's 90-something degrees, and it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm not going climbing an attic today since there's nobody living here. I'll come back early one morning and do a leak search. But if it's down in the closet, then I'll go ahead and do a leak search on it and tell him that he's got a leak and get the part ordered if he approves it. But yeah, so now we're at 87 saturation on 87 on the liquid, and 23 saturation, 85 on the suction. That's still, we're in the 60s on our superheat. So that's definitely not good. All right, guys, there's the Lennox coil. Lennox Elite. It had a 5-inch MERV filter in here from Lennox, a healthy solution. It's in a closet, but they got the filter under here. You can see this is all being lit up by my badass Mighty Light. I love this thing. This thing is freaking awesome. And I can guarantee you this coil's leaking Freon, because when I worked for that other company, I condemned a lot of them. Got a serial number up there. Y'all probably can't see it without the light, but let me see if I can get some light on that for y'all. 1613 2013. So it should still be under warranty. Even if it wasn't registered, it should still be under a 5-year warranty. So I'm letting the OH10 warm up. I'll get it, let it warm up, get it balanced out, and then we'll see if we can find a leak. Well, guys, I got to be honest, I was getting a little worried because I wasn't picking up anything. But then when I reach back here, yep, there she is. We'll hit that spot again. Right there in the top. I'm gonna check the same thing over here. Oh, wait. That's good enough for me. I'll tell you what, man, Lennox has a huge issue with this. I mean, I know some of the guys on Facebook have said, we don't have that issue over here. Well, here in Louisiana, it's bad. I mean, it's really, really bad. I have changed so many of these. This will be a walk in the park because I've changed so many when I was working for the other company. I mean, because, you know, that they're the premier Lennox dealer in the state of Louisiana. That I mean, I know them by heart. This is going to be a cakewalk, especially since it's in a closet, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Lennox needs to get with the program and go aluminum. All right, guys, that'll do it for service call number 2. A good old Lennox Elite CBX27UH-048. I remember the model numbers when I worked for the other company. A CBX is not variable speed. This is a X13 air handler. So we will verify that it's under warranty through Lennox Parts Plus down in New Orleans, Louisiana, and get him one ordered. So that should do it for service call number 2. Hey guys. All right. Well, I thought I was going to give y'all a 4 service call combo, but I mean, I could have, but I ended up just doing a 2 service call combo because the other 2 were just gas ups. The first gas up, I went there and the unit was froze solid, so I pulled the disconnect and told the customer I'd be back in a couple hours. It was pretty frozen solid, but I mean not thick, you know. So I knew. I think I went back about 2.5 hours later, maybe 3. And it's a rental property for a customer of mine, and you know, they didn't want to go through any steps to find the leak or nothing. They just, you know, gas it and go. Little small units, like a little 2-ton. It only took 1.5 pounds of gas, so I figured, you know, we've all, you know, gas and go, not worth filming. The second one was also a gas and go. It was a 410 system. Now, it's an ICP system from 2008. It's back when the ICP was still using copper coils. It's a gas application. It's way out in the country. And I know the coil is leaking. I've already confirmed it. But I don't have time to change it right now because the closet is so tight that I actually have to uninstall the furnace to change the coil. Got to change the case and everything because the coil sits up too high. So the furnace has to be pulled and all that. So I went ahead and gassed her up, and the charge that I put in there will get her through the summer until I slow down to where I can go pull the furnace and change the coil. So I'll do that this fall. So that was our 4 service calls for today. The 2 you saw, and then those 2 gas and goes that I told y'all about. And I think I did something else that I didn't film either. No, maybe not. Yeah, that's about it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll try to get some video on the repair of these upcoming jobs. Okay, guys, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all on the next one. All right, guys, let's take a look at what we got here. This is the original capacitor, I believe.